Spoiler Sleepover is sponsored by Gore Clown Shop.
Do you love all things horror? Books? Movies? Podcasts? Of course you do. Well, come on down to goreclown.com.
Original artwork by an indie horror fan for indie horror fans.
Use code SLEEPOVER at checkout to save 15% on your whole purchase.
Oh, and did we mention? Gore Clown is the only place to get official Spoiler Sleepover merch.
So don't forget to use Sleepover to save 15%.
Stay indie, suckers!
Welcome, ladies, gents, and our non-binary friends to Spoiler Sleepover, Season 3, the Season of Suffering. Suffer along with your co-hosts Jason, Michael, and Rob as they watch and review some of the worst films to ever hit the screen. Now, enjoy the show. It'll be a real scream of a time.
What happens when one man has too many cameras and free time? He makes Bad Ben. Welcome back, ladies, gents, and our non-binary friends to the Season of Motherfucking Suffering.
Oh, I didn't know he changed the title.
Yeah, I just did it right now. It's going to change.
Just added a motherfucking.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to sell that one. But hey.
Well, we're back. We're back again. We're back to potentially suffer again. Now, I want to preface this because I know I kind of mentioned it, but I really want to put this out there. I have already seen this movie more than once, more than twice. I only added this movie because I thought you were going to hate it. Now, I thoroughly enjoy it personally. It is 100% independent film, and I dig it for what it is, bad acting and all. But I'm super amped to find out what you felt, how you felt about Bad Ben. So,
but before we get to that, I'm Jason Michael.
And I'm Rob, just jumping the gun per usual.
Dude, we never remember to say who we are, but eventually we'll get there and it'll be stuck in our brains.
Yeah. Cheeks.
Before we talk about Bad Ben, whether it was a bad movie or not, Rob, what's been keeping you up at night?
Ooh. So I have a rather weak week, if you will, for my what's been keeping me up at night. I've only really been just watching my shows, like that
programs.
That's it. Yeah, stories. I mean, there's not much to go off of with that. But what I will put in here for a really funny what's been keeping me up at night. So I was informed by Chachi. Hi, Chachi. That we release our episodes at midnight on Sunday, Eastern time.
Yeah.
Chachi gets to listen to our episodes at 9 p.m. on Saturday.
All right, got it. Heard. This bastard getting early access content.
And I don't know why I thought that it would just get released at midnight, no matter what the time zone was, but
I never guessed that. Oh shit!
We're apparently both morons because Chachi was like, "Well, yeah," like it's just like, "Oh,
hey Chachi, time zones outside of the East Coast don't exist."
the funny
I'm saying
thing,
that as my better half lives 4 hours ahead of me in a different country entirely.
Right?
4 hours because of daylight savings.
There you
5
go.
in about a couple weeks because their daylight savings is also different than ours.
That's ridiculous.
What the fuck?
Well, I don't know why I thought it, but then I realized I'm like, this is we use our program to have our episodes uploaded to multiple platforms, and those platforms that they're uploaded to aren't going to time check shit and be like, Spotify is not going to be like, all right, well, it's midnight here, we got Now, California, you have to wait 4 hours. No, it's just going to be like, you said midnight EST, fucker. Here it is.
Hey, Shashi, I'm hoping you're enjoying listening to this at midnight your time, because motherfucker, I'm going to upload it at 4 a.m. EST. This guy.
We should do that for just one episode.
Oh, I'm doing it for this one. So you're hearing all this. Yeah, that's what you get. You narked on yourself.
That's so funny. Oh,
we're gonna have that one person. It's like, I was up at midnight EST. I'm in Connecticut. What the fuck?
Yeah. Where the fuck's the episode, you asshole?
Yo, shout out to you in Connecticut. Get out of Connecticut. Anyway.
Hey.
We've had this conversation.
I know. My brother still lives there.
Dude, everyone in the East Coast hates everyone else in the East Coast. It's fine. That's like Massachusetts and New Hampshire fight against each other. Everyone kind of looks at New Jersey like, eh.
You know what's fucked is that I live in New Hampshire. And I fucking hate it here. I hate this state. I do not like New Hampshire at all. I am miserable here. There are movies. Well,
beautiful woods. Hey,
I don't hike, so but yeah, I mean the Maple Festival was just here. I got to partake in that, so that was nice. But I could literally move anywhere else, and there's going to be a festival of some delicious sweet. I don't care. Just send me somewhere. I don't care. I don't want to be here anymore.
All I want is maple, not in New Hampshire.
Yeah, fucking Canada. It's 24/7 year-round Maple Festival. Their flag's a goddamn maple leaf. Send me there. I'll be happy. Back with my peeps.
One of the very first things I had was we went into Marché Jean Talon or something, and we walked in, found a nice slab of metal that was frozen, and they were freezing up some little maple syrup pops. Fuck yeah.
Oh, so good.
Hell yeah. Anyway,
so
sorry, you're what's been keeping you up at night?
Yeah, I mean, that was it, really.
Tangent.
I've been watching my shows, and Tracker's gotten really bonkers. If you haven't been watching Tracker, you should totally watch Tracker. It's a great show. But, yeah, I mean, other than that, just catching up with my shows, and all of them, I feel like they're just now getting to that point where they're jumping the shark, or they're jumping their second shark for some of these shows. But
remember when Fonzie jumped the shark? The literal shark?
That's where the term comes from. Jumping the shark. So,
I know. And more shows should actually jump sharks. Jackass tried it for Shark Week, and then Poopy's got his hand fucking ripped open.
Yeah, it didn't work out for Poopy.
Ocean full of sharks.
You know, I would kill to have another Jackass movie where Poopy's becomes Johnny Knoxville, like he is the new Johnny Knoxville, because he's the funniest addition that we've gotten in forever. He's literally the best. One of the deleted scenes that they put in the Jackass Forever .0 or whatever they called it, the second one, was, did you watch that?
Oh, fuck yeah.
When he's on the ladder and he's like, "Hi, I'm Poopy's and I'm going to kick my own ass," and he just kicks the ladder out from under himself.
Takes the sledgehammer, just BAM!
It's so good.
Hey, little forewarning here, suckers. Our What's Been Keeping Us Up at Night next week will probably be a Jackass marathon. Oh, what a shame. God damn.
Yeah. I did that a couple years ago, actually. I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch
months ago.
All of them. I started at 1, then watched all the points right after all of them. I was just like, this is great.
Not a single bad one. I will say 2 is probably the grossest. 3 feels the most cinematic. There is one thing in 3 where both my brother and I look at each other and go, absolutely not. I mean, he doesn't watch it. I watch it. The sweatsuit cocktail.
Oh, yeah. That one's gnarly.
Yeah. Especially when it's like, hey, Steve-O, how's it feel to drink your first cocktail since you've been sober? It's like, oh, I've had better. God damn. It just... We need to move on, otherwise I'm going to get too gross in thought with that one.
Yeah, so what's been keeping you up at night?
I actually have been watching, now that Invincible's done, that did just remind me, thinking about it right now, I do need to continue Reacher, because I started with the first episode of season 3, and then got to the title card, and then went back and watched more Invincible. So other than that, I've been watching Daredevil Born Again.
Oh yeah, I've been watching that too. It's fucking great. I only watched the first 2 episodes so far, but
I haven't seen the one that came out this week. All I know is that my jaw hit the floor at the end of last week's episode, so be prepared for that shit. I did not finish Daredevil 1 or 2 when it came out on Netflix, the seasons, because, and this is going to go off on a quick little tangent. When Jason started at his old job down in Massachusetts, he met a coworker who seemed very nice, very pleasant, and was talking, Arrow, The Flash, all the good like heyday shit when it was, and talking about Daredevil. I was like, oh yeah. And then he got the slightest bit of power and became a dick. I tried talking these conversations with him and he would shut them down. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, cool. Thanks, man. Moving on. So that made Daredevil fall out for me. But I did go back and watch Punisher, the seasons 1 and 2, which that's a fucking bonkers show.
Yeah.
But Daredevil Born Again. And I did watch on Screambox Art Attack, the documentary behind Terrifier 3, but also Terrifier. A lot of good stuff that I'm going to read some little pointers that I took away from it. The crew, because Damien was directing, written, and all that shit, he didn't really entirely have anything to do with the makeup, even though he would go in with his little cup of blood every now and then and just go, so Damien still had a little bit of that. The crew was very driven to get Damien's vision. So they were doing everything and anything they can to make his vision work. So
Good.
From a producer standpoint, them just going, this is his brainchild. This is his. We want his vision to be what you see. Nobody's trying to get money hungry over it. Nobody's trying to take it away from him because he fucking guarantee he would shut that shit down and we'd only have a 2. Let's see. Yeah, it was a new company that Damien kept putting his own blood. Like, again, it was not Damien doing the effects. It was a whole other company. David and his idea of Art the Clown was basically the bastard son of Freddy Krueger and Harpo Marx, and I loved that analogy because I love the Marx Brothers, and seeing it was just like, holy fucking shit. Or even a demonic Mr. Bean, as he put it. I'm excited because we did, I can't remember if it was last week's Creeping It Real or the week prior. We were talking about, again, David Howard Thornton and Art the Clown, Terrifier news. Damien says, Art will never speak. Never. Because there's not a voice, any voice that he gives him will never live up to the expectations. So I'm thankful for that, and I'm still hopeful for that come the origin story of 4.
You know what would be really funny is if there's a moment in the origins where he opens his mouth before he becomes demonic, before he dies, before the serial killer dies.
He opens his mouth and his title card.
Not even that. It'd just be better if it was that and like a car alarm or like a freaking fire alarm went off and his mouth is moving, but all you can hear is the alarm and you'd just be like, fuck.
No, it's like the thing in Outback where it's like, hey, don't forget the...
Yeah. But this time it would be intentional.
What do you have to say about that? Oh, thanks, man. All right, cool, great.
Day 1.
Yep. And then the last thing based on that is like David loves the cosplayers at cons. Like he was a fan going to cons for many years, so he loves seeing when we talked about the Silver Scream Con, he loves seeing the people dress up as him because when they show up, they're not talking. They are acting as Art the Clown, which I can respect. Yeah. And he would probably have loved my Halloween costume. That's all I'll say. But that has what's been keeping us up at night. Let us know what's been keeping you up at night. Have you been keeping up with your own programs? Do you enjoy the Jackass movies? Does the sweatsuit cocktail make you want to Ralph? Me too. But please let us know. Send us an email. Send us a text. Send us a message on Instagram. If you have our number, hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, yes, send us messages. Let us know what's been keeping you up at night. I know a lot of you suckers out there have been, and Rob has been reposting them on our stories, as well as our next segment, squiggly little thing in our ear called Earworm.
Yeah.
Rob, what has been squiggling?
I'm gonna Oh, man, I'm pulling a U this week. I'm keeping it short and sweet. I have been listening to Laura Jane Grace's new single called God's Dick, and it is fucking amazing, and I cannot get it out of my head. It has just been amazing. She did an interview. Well, she was called out initially on it, like, why are you're just saying these words to be profane? And she had a response, which is awesome, because then I read the article and then she reposted the article on her Instagram, and then I reposted her repost on my story, and then she saw it and liked it. And that made my day. I love you, Laura Jane Grace. I've been a fan of Against Me since my old band opened up for you way back in the day. So yeah. Go listen to God's Dick. It is fucking amazing. It's such a good song. Other than that,
I'm glad you followed up with "It's a Song," because go listen to God's Dick. What's it sound like?
Well, the song will ask that question. It literally is what it is. It's a fucking awesome song.
All right, typing it into my search right now.
But other than that, I have released a new single. So if you enjoyed my full-length album, there is a single out. It will not be attached to an upcoming album. It is just a one-off that I was going through a feeling and made a song based off of another song and made that song some noise, and it is awesome. So if you are already following me, my music on Bandcamp, go ahead and give I Want to Be Love, Everyone Does, and let me know what you think about it. But yeah, those have been my earworms. What's been squiggling in and out of your ear holes there, Jason Michael?
Well, I have been listening to a plethora of things, a lot of things getting me excited for, obviously this past week's concert of Whitechapel. I've been listening to the new album, Hymns and Dissonance, now actually on shuffle. Normally I would listen to the whole thing straight through, but at the same point now I'm at that point with a new album where I can go, you know what? I can shuffle it now.
Yeah.
It takes me a little bit. It takes me a couple listen throughs, but eventually I'll hit the shuffle button. Still can't do it with Life is But a Dream, because that is a literal play through all the time. But yeah, Hymns and Dissonance, 2 albums ago of Volbeat, Rewind, Replay, and Rebound. I fucking love that album. Unfortunately, the follow-up to that, Servant of the Mind, wasn't up to my expectations or, feelings about that album. It was good. It had some moments, but damn, I cannot put Rewind, Replay, Rebound down. It's always a great listen to. And, because occasionally I'll just hear a slight bit of it because he's everywhere right now. Listen to GNX by Kendrick Lamar again. Listen to that whole album all the way through. Yeah, dude. Like, there are some moments on that where it's like, oh, fuck it. Yeah, dude. Like, I'm getting pumped for you. Hell yeah, let's go. So, yeah, it's been just, a couple albums. I know there was a musical endeavor recently we talked about with Ghost, so definitely keep an ear out for that. There's a lot of fun stuff in the works. But those have been our earworms. Again, as usual on our socials, let us know what you've been listening to, anything you've been jamming out to. Give us new things to listen to. I know I'm very set in my musical tastes, so please help me out here. Give me something that maybe I'll branch out into something new. Rob, he's a combination of a little bit of everything and also absolutely not that. But we won't talk about that. So.
Fuck country.
All right, way to give it away. I know we're spoilers. And of course, we must end our openers with a little bit of... And fun fact, Rob doesn't have one this week because I found something.
You did. You threw it at me and I said, well, looks like you're leading Creeping It's Real this week.
Uh-huh. And it's relatively short, but it is also really fun. I know Rob usually does more of his in-depth research on this. I unfortunately did not do more in-depth research because I did. Okay, good. Thank you. See, this is why I keep him around, folks. Not only for his pretty face, but because of this. We, a few days ago, actually got a post/repost from David Howard Thornton, our Lord and Savior. And He reposted something about Screamboat princesses in harm's way. There are several people that will be on the boat in Screamboat dressed up as, quote, Disney princesses, unquote. One of which is a very familiar face to those that are fans of David Howard Thornton and the Terrifier franchise. We have the wonderful Brooke from Terrifier 2 and a little not sneak peek, but like little cameo in Terrifier 3. We have our wonderful Kaylee Hyman in full glory as what appears to be, it looks like a Cinderella. It's either a Cinderella or when the two fairy godmothers were going blue, red in Sleeping Beauty, but it does look like she is Cinderella. Again, quote unquote Disney princesses, because similar to the mean one, you can't really go, hey, it's Cinderella. You can call it Screamboat because he's royalty free or whatever it is now at this point.
Well, you can. Cinderella is not owned. They are leased by Disney. So there were multiple photos released, one of which is showing her as Cinderella. And if you look closely at the women standing around her, they are all hideous. They are wearing prosthetics. Those are her stepmother and her hideous stepsisters. And it is also a bit of a hint towards something else that may be coming in the near future. That is as far as the information goes. That was the most I could dig up, but we are getting the Poonaverse, and it looks like there is another thing in the works that is not connected to the Poonaverse, but will be its own thing. So this could very well be the start of another fuck your childhood memories of things being cute. But
all headed up by David Howard Thornton, baby. He's gonna murder your childhood.
No one else could do it, honestly. This is the right way to go about it, in my opinion. If the mean one was any better, I could have seen like multiple sequels, more coming from it, diving deeper into like Whoville, bringing Horton in and making him like a woolly mammoth that just fucking lays waste to fucking who's. But yeah, at this point, it's just I would too. It'd be awesome. But
Sam I Am would be a goddamn terror. He would be the most annoying little shit and would somehow always get you killed.
Imagine Thing 1 and Thing 2.
Oh just my cracked God. Up. Dude. Can we get Mike Myers back as the Cat in the Hat, but it's some sort of sadistic fucking twist?
You don't have to do anything. Rewatch that movie. He's horrifying. That movie was terrifying.
You also, dirty hoe. I'm sorry, baby. I love you.
The movie was not for kids.
Chops his tail off. Cat, what? Oh, fuck. Hang in there, kitten.
It's ridiculous.
That was not a kid's movie.
Nope, not at all. So, yeah, that's our Creeping It Real. That's awesome. I'm glad I mean, I had a few things that I could have gone into, but I feel like at this point in time, I mean, this is better news because the only news I had was bad news. I'll mention it once. We're not going to get into it because I'm still not pleased, but they've announced that Saw 11 is officially canceled, and that so is the entirety of the franchise. There will not be another Saw movie. I'm leaving it at that. I am not pleased. But yeah, Lionsgate said the two heads, the producers, could not agree, and so they said fuck it. And Lionsgate pulled everything, said no more. We're not doing it. So
I haven't seen 10, but at the same point, I feel like 10 is a nice number to end it at.
I mean, yes, I agree wholeheartedly. I do think 10 is a good number to end it at. But
however, we
talked about Saw. That is one of my all-time favorites, top 10s right there. And but it bums me out. I was looking forward to 11. You give us this, I mean, the script is done, whatever. Anyways, we're not going to get into it, but yeah. So sorry to end it on a bad note, but yes, we get Cinderella. We get the actress back from Terrifier 2 and 3. So stupendous. I'm excited. Very excited.
Indeed.
So we have mentioned Selena a few times in season 3. She has been awesome. She won our contest between the 2 seasons. Chachi sent her out a shirt, so she's rocking one of our shirts right now. She has been suffering with us. I know a few other people who are also suffering with us along the way.
Troopers.
But she's been letting us know via our Instagram. She's been reaching out to us and being like, hey, I've watched the movie. These are my thoughts. I had brought the idea up to her, like, hey, how would you like your own little segment? She said something along the lines of, like, nobody wants to hear my opinion on things. I, myself, and Jason Michael both highly disagree. And so this is a new little segment we're going to be calling Selena's Thoughts. So, Selena, if you actually hate this, you let us know, and this will be the one and only time we do it. But if you think it's hilarious, we're going to keep doing it. I will cut bits and pieces out of the messages just to get your thought on the movie out there. But so we are now 3 episodes. This is our 3rd episode, so we have no opinion from her yet.
Not counting episode 0.
Yeah, we have no opinion on her from Bad Ben yet, because that's this episode. So
what?
Yeah. So far, we've done Outback and Frankenstein's Island. Jeez. And so these are Selena's thoughts on Frankenstein's Island. She started off by complimenting us. Great episode. Had me laughing so much. I really suffered with Frankenstein's Island. I wanted to stop watching so many times, but I didn't. I pushed through till the end. Melvin was definitely the only good thing in the entire movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, John Carradine. Hang on. Whoa. But at the same point, yes, Melvin.
Yeah, it was Melvin. Melvin saved the film and also killed his career.
The power!
But yeah, there's our first and potentially last segment of Selena's Thoughts. So until next week, you'll get to hear what her thoughts were on this week's episode. And speaking of...
let's get into it. Of course, as per usual, definitely let us know what you have been watching, listening to. As Rob stated, this was his choice. Well, not choice. This was his dice roll. This was his shit list movie. So far, out of our shit fiestas, we have watched and talked about Outback from 2019. 15? I swear we've been saying it was 2015 the entire time. Oh,
2019, but the events took place in 2015.
That's right. Now thinking back on it, I'm pretty sure in Outback I did say, this movie from 2015. So Outback from 2019. And of course, the ever what the fuck of 1981's Frankenstein's Island.
Yep.
Now, 2016, Bad Ben. You did preface that you had seen it before, not only at the end of last episode, but again, a couple minutes ago at the beginning of this. And I'm going to be completely honest. And I'm going to start out strong.
Okay.
I fucking loved this movie.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Blows my mind.
There was some moments where I'm watching it and just going, I can see, 100% independent. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was watching it and I was like, ooh, it really is a found footage. Like, it looks like I just grabbed my phone and walked outside and started talking to myself. A lot of the stuff in this movie surprised me. Like, there were moments in broad daylight when I was watching this movie, I actually got the feeling of like, oh, what the fuck? And it was cool because, again, completely independent. This dude did it all on his own. All of his own stunts, which I thought was hilarious to read in the movie before I even saw any of the stunts, which, say what you will about this being a shit movie, it's pretty good. Like, I'd watch this over one of the later Paranormal Activities any day.
Especially the last one. That movie sucks.
Oh my God. But what does worry me, how the fuck do you get 14 movies out of this?
So I will go out and let you know, if you liked this one, do watch the next 2. Watch Bad Ben 2, watch Bad Ben 3. they're equally as good in my opinion. I really do like all three of them. Once it hits the fourth one,
the revenge.
They go so fucking far off the rails. It's unbelievable. You got to see it. I don't want to spoil anything for 2 and 3, but they are worth the watch. That's all I'll say. They are worth the watch, in my opinion. Still independent. When these movies came out, it was back when Prime used to do, they hosted a bunch of indie films. You could just upload your film and it'd be on Prime and you could watch it. So that's
makes sense as to why this was on Prime, and I was looking at it like this could be just something like on YouTube.
Yeah, well,
it reminds me of like the house hunting improvement YouTube channels. That's like, all right, guys, leave a like, follow, subscribe, whatever. And it's just like, Dad, is that you?
So I mean, this was just uploaded because he was like, I got the time, I got the cameras, I might as well.
It's his own house, right?
Yes. Yep.
It's a pretty good house.
It's a fucking huge house. We'll get into this actually.
I love the fact that it's just a giant fucking circle on the ground floor. It's like, damn.
Yeah, it's dope. So let's get into this a little bit here before we start spoiling things. So it is no longer for free on Prime, which I find very weird. You do have to rent it, but it is for free on Roku channel. So if you have a Roku, it's free to watch. I only got 3 ad breaks for mine, so can't complain too much, especially seeing as the ads are a lot faster than Tubi, where Tubi, it's just like loading the ad, and then here's 3 minutes to 5 minutes of ads, and then loading your movie. This one it's super seamless. It's like, here's a quick ad, or back to the movie. So I apologize in advance if you don't have Roku. I think the rental on Prime is like $2.
$3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worth it though. I'm sure it's free you could probably find it on YouTube, to be completely honest.
Probably. It's definitely, there are times in this movie where, I mean, again, I know he's the only guy.
Yeah.
He is the only person in this movie. He's on the phone with people and fucking whore.
Yeah,
oh,
that
Jesus.
was
all right, buddy.
That's my favorite moment in the entire movie.
It's quite impressive the amount of stuff that he can do just by being by himself. But at the same point, I feel like he gives way too much exposition just for the sake of giving exposition. Like, especially with the opening title card of
Well, we gotta hold on, pause yourself. You're getting ahead. We haven't read the synopsis or anything yet. So
I mean, it seems like the opening screen pretty much gives a good synopsis too.
Except for the fact that the synopsis is wrong, which I find amusing for something like this. So the synopsis for the film is: a man realizes something sinister lives inside his new home. Okay, that's it. Very small, very quick. Now, number one issue here, not his home. He has purchased this house to flip it. He is planning on selling everything within the house to flip the house because he's dumped his entire life savings into this house, which he mentions multiple times.
Still technically owns it. Still technically his new house.
Yeah and no. So, as you were saying, then we do get the longest opening per every found footage film ever.
The following footage was retrieved from the cell phone of Thomas Riley and downloaded from the cloud-based recorder of a surveillance system in a home he purchased at a sheriff's sale. It has not been altered in any way. Dude. And it's all like typing, like somebody's typing it up on the keyboard as it's showing up, and you can hear it, and you can hear it's not just like the normal. It's
for each letter, including the hesitation on certain words and misspelling and backspacing out and all that stuff, which I think is just great. But
somebody with, I don't know how to type. I never took a computer class. Let me just go one key at a time.
Yep. Yeah,
caps lock and then uncaps lock because I don't know what shift does.
Right. My favorite note that I wrote so far is just the opening. Written, directed, and starring.
Yep.
Nigel Bach. But yeah,
it's Bach Studios.
It's
New
awesome.
Jersey.
Yep. And we don't find out where they are located until like damn near the end of the movie, where he's just like, what do you mean in New Jersey?
Yep.
You don't have to say this. I was like, oh, it's New
Yep.
Jersey.
Yep.
And if you've driven through New Jersey, you have a general idea of like what side of Jersey this movie was shot on, because there are very definite areas where you're like, yeah, I'm no longer in the city. But I think the wildest thing about this house is the opening when he says that it's a 4 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms. That's an insane amount of bathrooms. There's 1.5 more bathrooms than there are bedrooms in this fucking house.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pooping and peeing. That's ridiculous.
Seriously.
Also, we only ever see one bathroom the entire time, by the way. I don't know if you picked up on that. The entirety of the movie, you're just like, there's only one bathroom. And for all the cameras, you got to give the previous owners this much. They're not creeps. There's no cameras in any of the bathrooms.
Yeah, I mean, bedrooms, yes, I know some people do have cameras in their bedrooms for like security reasons, but even at a certain point, I feel that one's weird.
Yeah. So he goes into the house. Immediately, this is like his first time walking in there, finds a bunch of Christian stuff. There's a cross and the Lord's Prayer, and in his words, the world's oldest Bible sitting on the table, and realizes he has to get rid of it because he says, I love the fact he goes, obviously a religious bunch. Cracks me up. But he needs to get rid of it.
All lines were improv'd. Every single line was on the spot through this entire film. Sometimes it could be really apparent, and then other times it's like, you know what, that was a good delivery. Good for you.
Well, it even gets better because there's a moment where he goes around the house, inside and outside, finds a riding lawnmower. Yeah. He finds a riding lawnmower that doesn't work. He finds the keys. There's a shed in the back that he can't get into because it's locked. He finds the keys on the key for the riding mower. Now, this happens a bit later in the movie, but as he's walking up to the shed, he just goes, I don't know why I feel the urge to film my entire life and everything I'm doing. Like, he immediately like breaks that kind of like found footage fourth wall of like, why the fuck am I doing this? I don't know why. Like, but you're watching it. Like, he doesn't know we're watching it, but I find that amusing. He does end up throwing out the religious stuff, the Christian stuff that he finds in the house. The house doesn't have power. He calls to get the power turned back on, says it's going to be a couple hours. He goes out to eat, which we don't see. He does twice in the movie. Probably should have done it more to get the fuck out of that house. But he does not do that. So, yeah, he throws it out to be, quote unquote, politically correct, because these are the times we live in, which makes no fucking sense at all.
Nope. All right, cool. I'm glad I wasn't like missing something there. It's like, how is that political? What?
Yeah. Well, he goes out to dinner.
Entirely improv.
Right. Yeah. And it's there are, as you already stated, there's a lot of moments throughout the movie where like his improv lines, you're just like, what the fuck are you going on about? Like,
I'm not afraid of you. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
It's
Will be.
The one that gets me every time is when he finally leaves the house to like go take in the entirety of the outside property, and the front porch camera picks him up. He goes, okay, and now to go and surveil everything that's outside and the full property. You're like, is this disposition? You're just allowing us as the viewers to know, like, you don't think we would have figured that out ourselves?
My favorite line is later with a chair, and he just goes, stop.
Yeah.
And it's like, really?
It worked.
That's all it took?
It fucking worked.
Really did.
Oh
my God.
But so he goes out to dinner, comes back, doors open, and the house is a wreck, which I find amusing. Multiple times, the house just is a wreck. His friend Zach helps him.
Yeah.
So he's been filming the stuff on his camera, finds out that the house is literally just surrounded and filled with cameras. His buddy Zach helps him get into all the cameras. He has access to all of them. He goes to bed and the ship moves again, and we don't see it. I love this moment because it's the first moment we get that like someone's in the house sort of situation, because he goes up to the bedroom to check some stuff out. And if you're not looking in the right direction, you miss it situation. Yep. And a quick shadow goes between the crack in the door that's halfway open. And then we know
exactly where to look, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's also too, I feel like if you know found footage after like the later found footage, you're almost never watching the main actors. You're always watching the background. And a younger generation or a more curious generation who just loves anything and everything found footage like myself has learned, thanks to anything Slender Man related, always watch the background. You never watch the foreground. You always watch the background. And it's become a trope, not just in found footage anymore. Now it's in all horror movies, is watch the background. And I love it. But at the same time, I don't want to say it's overdone. It's just not always done well, because I think we could always utilize it, but we don't always need it. And
like,
a lot of movies don't realize
just
that.
Do it. Yeah,
right.
They just do it overly, or they overdo it just for the sake of doing it because everyone else is doing it.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, in my opinion, if you want to watch a long form horror story that utilizes watch the background the entire time, and you haven't heard of this, I'll be shocked. But if you haven't heard of it, Marble Hornets, it was a YouTube series back in probably around the same time, to be completely honest, like 2000, maybe 15, 2016, somewhere around there. But it's
10 years ago.
It is Slender Man. It is one of the first formats in the style. It's found footage. It is awesome. And it has
I think I remember hearing about
closer and everything. There's 3 seasons of it. They call them seasons, but Marble Hornets was huge. And I followed it from pretty much upload 5, I think. And some of the uploads are like 35 seconds. Some of them are 15 minutes, but they're all this continuing story. They're really good, but we're not talking about Marble Hornets, at least not now. Maybe at some point, but
right. Hold your horses here, pal.
Yeah. Right. So
this guy,
let's see.
His house is a wreck. He went upstairs to go check some stuff out. I honestly lost track because it goes from daytime sometimes straight to nighttime, and I want to just go day 1.
I was doing it the whole time. I started to write day 1 in my notes, and I was just like, "Don't fucking do it. We can't have this be the carrying joke the entire season."
I mean, listen, it's already there.
Oh no!
It's either that or how many bottles of piss we gonna drink?
Well, none in this movie. I don't think there's.
As far as you know,
I haven't seen past the 5th Bad Ben, so I don't know. Maybe somebody drinks pee at some point. So. But
Bad Ben 6, the pissening.
Yeah, the pissening. Jesus. I mean, Bad Ben 5 is piss in itself, but we do get Zach ends up. So he calls Zach because of the situation. Zach ends up informing him that he can activate all the cameras to always be recording, because at this point he's only been recording. It's only been recording the rooms he's selecting. So he's going into rooms, selecting the room so he could see himself, see that the camera's working, but it's only recording then. So he's made the choice, which is strange in itself, but he's made the choice to record himself in each room. Zach gets him that access so that all rooms are recording at all times, which then gives us everything we need from that point forward.
Yep. And it's like record a week back instead of just 24 hours retroactively. So it's like you can go back and see things that happened, which it felt like it was a decent amount of time until that point was revisited. It's like the man's sitting in the house. The man knows that like shit's been going down. And it's like, why don't you just go back and rewatch?
Yeah.
As I had that thought, there's a scene later where he's on the phone with Zach again. And Zach's like, you haven't fucking seen this shit, have you?
No.
Watch this. I'm emailing it to you right now.
Which is so fucking cool too, because from an independent standpoint, anyone like yourself watching this movie for the first time, you're like, of course, you can put noise in, and then because you're controlling the editing, you can then go and be like, oh, look, everything moved without actually having to do it. But that moment comes and you get to see all of the furniture move. And that's super cool.
Especially for, again, how independent this movie is. It is this man, a bunch of stationary cameras, and his phone.
Do you want me to blow your mind really early before we get to the end of the movie?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm guessing there was somebody else.
The end of the movie, the main character gets dragged down to the basement. Let's just put it that way.
It's fucking cool, man.
There's no one there.
Yeah. Like,
he's doing... No, I mean, he's doing that himself. When he gets pulled by his leg, he's doing that on his own. There is nobody else there.
Throws himself face first down the goddamn stairs.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, if you rewatch, there are multiple moments throughout the movie where you can see he did all of this on his own, but there are moments throughout the movie where if you really look, so on a second watch, you'll notice it immediately, but like there are moments where you're like, oh, this is really bad editing, or like this is...
I mean, yeah, when the lights were coming on in the room and it was like he wasn't there, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, it was a very quick, all right, lights are off, pause, turn them on, resume.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. It's all right. So I'll bring them up when we get to them because the moments happen later. So really, I mean, fast forwarding because we don't really need to go through everything. He goes to the basement. The basement door there's a door in the basement. It's locked, which drives me nuts because it's one of those, like, you could put like a pin in there to unlock the door locks. But he doesn't. He's just like, why is this thing locked? It feels like something's blocking it. And you're like, dude, no. But he goes down there. It's cold. There's a bad smell. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of moments throughout the movie. Doors are opening and closing on their own. The front door closes on him at one point, which we do get to see from the inside, which is another cool moment. Also, easy editing. But also makes it very interesting because of the fact that the door closes on its own when he's out on the porch on camera.
Yep.
And it's just super dope that he did all this shit on his own. It blows my mind every time. I'm just like, how? Because I've watched his movements. My brother is the one who got me to watch this movie. And he swears that there's a moment where you can see him move just right, that he is the one closing the door. And I'm sure that's true.
It's like a wire or fishing line or something.
Right. But I've never seen it. I've never caught a specific movement that shows that he's the one closing the door.
One when he's sitting on the couch talking with Zach, that one still, like, that was the moment where I felt shudders and I was like, fuck you. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I went, oh, okay. Yeah. Sick.
It's real good. I'm so amped that you liked this movie.
Or I'm lying to you this entire time.
Oh my God, we got to
You'll never know.
And this is why I actually fucking hated it. Eat a dick. One negative star. This is why I give
Big Bad Ben a 1. Get fucked. It's such a good, like, you were phrasing this as, oh, it's like a, found footage, spooky ghost. And I was like, you know what? I could get behind some of those. And you're like, but it's real, like, found footagey. Like, there's moments where it goes through all the cameras and it'll say the name of the camera, motion detected, and it'll interrupt the actual story that's happening, which is cool. And I'm able to pick up on some of the editing things. But then there's also the moments where you just look at it and you go, ew.
Yeah.
Like, some of the shadows that are when it's like motion detected at the West Gate and it goes out and you see a shadow walking across the ground. That was kind of cool. When if I remember correctly, it was it before no, I think it was the night after he found the grave.
Mm-hmm.
So he went like back into the woods being like, oh, marshlands and shit. And then he turns around and there's a little grave on the ground with a music box that plays Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Yeah.
And dude, I get it. You don't want people to see it in order to flip the house and renovate. At this point, there's no way this man hasn't gone, I've seen this movie and I'm not going to touch this grave.
Dude, there's another moment that's way worse too. And I mean, that one's terrible, but so I want to touch on the shadows. because the very first one is a good moment of editing where you can tell that he really timed the edits perfectly. So we get to see this really cool elongated shadow go through the backyard. We see it again where it goes through the front and you kind of get to see a full form. So you start to believe
windows.
Yep. You start to believe that for a moment you're like, okay, he thinks there's a person in this house. That's a solid form. And then it goes to the front door and phases through the fucking front door. But it phases through the front door, and you're like, I'm sorry, what? How the fuck? I
missed that part.
So it goes up to the door. You can see it. It's blocking out the light that's pouring out of the door, the window. And then all of a sudden, it's on the other side of the door. And it moves. And then each light in the house just goes on and off. And then you'll see it from the outside. The kitchen light turns on, then it cuts to the kitchen camera. Nobody's there. Then it cuts back outside the house. That light shuts off. The next room light turns on, cuts back into the next room. Nobody's there. Cuts back outside. I love it. For me, that's such a dope moment because I'm just like, this is a dude going, I have these cameras. I can do absolutely everything or I can completely fuck this up. And he kills it so well. And I really do believe this is such an underrated film. It's super duper independent. Like it was him. He paid for this. It was his own camera, his own house. He did it on his own. The shadow thing.
Upset they didn't have the shadow in the window like they do in the poster. That's the only one I'm upset about.
Yeah. Well,
like they set it up to where if like he comes back in after getting dinner and all of a sudden it's like bling. Just sitting there, that would have been sick.
We get window moments. They're not great, but we get them. But
yeah, again, the front door, like you can tell it's a man covered in a black sheet, and I think that's when I watched it. I was like, oh, and I didn't notice the phasing then.
Could you imagine?
Because I was looking at it, just going, guy in a blanket.
Could you imagine being like somebody driving by and there's just a dude with a blanket over him standing in his front yard, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Dude, when I was a freshman in high school, I took a video like editing class pretty much. And like we made a bunch of, student films and things like that. I made Freddy vs. Jason 2. And a lot of my shit was like I was walking as Freddy Krueger down the middle of an Elm Street in my old hometown in the middle of the night. And
that's awesome.
At the very end of my walking scene, you can see a car start pulling up like, what the fuck is going on here?
Oh, man. Tell me you still have that video.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, shit. All right. Stay tuned, suckers. We'll get that video.
Keep in mind, again, freshman in high school. However, there's some pretty cool stuff in there.
I'm amped. Well, I can't wait to watch that. We'll
like
add
16 minutes, I think, or something.
It'll be a bonus episode.
Sweet Jesus. We have to react and spoil that.
It'll just be your suffering.
Dude, I do occasionally go back and rewatch it and just go,
oh, that's awesome.
That was okay. That wasn't.
Years and years ago, I did a horror short. It's an actual short. It's also on YouTube. I have no idea where, but it exists. And I'm not in it. I'll see if I can find it. We'll upload our own shorts. It'll be interesting. We'll see what we can do with it.
Okay.
But there's another shadow moment in the movie that I want to touch on that is the moment that gives me the heebie-jeebies, because it starts off like the other moments where we get the elongated shadow and you're like, all right, it's a shadow. Then it cuts and it's these rapid cuts. Yeah, it's all these rapid cuts to every side of the house, and there are shadows everywhere. To me, that is saying it's not one. And then we get that moment that you brought up earlier where he calls, I'm assuming the sheriff, the people who did the fucking auction, and he's like, I did some Googling. I love how he says it. I did some Googling and
went on the old Google box.
Yeah. Found out that 2 families, 2 previous owners of the house, 2 previous families of the house were murdered in the house. And he was like, how did you not disclose this to me? And that's when we find out that in New Jersey, they don't have to unless you ask, which is true.
Yeah, it's, what is it? Caveat emptor, which basically means buyer beware in Latin.
Yep.
So that is like, yes, I know what that is. Do you understand what this means? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
It's just a break and it goes, fuck you, you fucking whore. It's like,
it's
whoa.
so good.
Whoa, dude. I get you're upset, but Jesus.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it. But that shadow moment makes me, every time I'm like, dude, that's the previous owners. That's 2 fucking dead families surrounding this house. For why? Now, this is the only, and I mean only complaint I have about this movie is the big reveal. So shit has gone completely haywire. I'm going to jump through all of this because we don't really need, so much happens that is nothing and isn't necessary to the story that I just want to go through the story points. He goes to the attic. He describes he's smelling the same thing that he smells in the basement. It's also cold in the attic. He doesn't see anything initially. Then he goes back because he hears knocking up there and he finds whatever he has decided as the writer, director, producer, only actor in this movie. He finds a broken crucifix underneath it's not really a pentagram, but okay.
Stick and electric tape, like 5-pointed star.
There's an urn next to it, and inside the urn are voodoo dolls. What? And then there's also a candle next to all of that. He goes to like go get something to throw all of it out. This is the moment where I'm like, dude, this is super independent. You can still hear him breathing. Because he's a big guy, so like he's supposed to be gone, but like you don't hear the attic stairs or anything like that move. He's like, I'll be right back. You hear some shuffling, and then there's a scratch noise, and then one of the voodoo dolls just jolts forward, which I'm assuming he must have used like canned air or something like that because it's a loud noise. And then a reverse shot, which is super dope because then the candle lights itself, and it happens. And it's also one of those moments where it happens so quickly that like, even on I don't even know, this is, I think might be my 6th time watching this movie.
Jesus.
It's like, it happens so quickly. I'm like, oh wait, that candle's lit. Like I keep forgetting that happens. But
a better fire effect than what was in Frankenstein's Island with the incorrectly keyed fire circle around the picture of John Carradine. Fucking Jesus Christ, what a shit flop show that was. Still better than Outback, but we're not talking about that again.
It's true.
Dear Christ.
Most things are going to be better than Outback. Well, I can't say that yet. We have got some real shit on this list. So,
hence it's called the shit list.
Yep.
I do love that, like, when he's sitting talking with Zach and he's like, what do you mean? And he gets sent the video of now we can see all the stuff get pulled through the living room.
Yep.
It's so cool to see because I'm like, all right, how is he going to do this? Hopefully we can see it. Or in my mind, I was like, it's going to be so indie, we never see it. We never see anything, and it's just our suspension of disbelief. And then we see it, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's really good. And then again, when you're saying like he might have movements of how he does things, he's watching this video and talking with Zach on the phone, and then the front door opens behind him.
Yeah.
And then he goes, what do you mean? Right now? Turns around and he gets up and goes, and he's like yelling. He's like, all right, God damn it.
Yeah.
Who's in here? It's like, why'd you put so much emphasis on God damn it?
His run during that scene is the cutest thing ever too, because he does this like tippy toe run.
Well, dude, listen, that's fucking creepy.
Yeah. So we find that stuff in the attic. Now, during the moment where we're seeing the property, we've both touched on everything. So There's a shed that's locked. He mentions a marsh that he's not going to go to. I want you personally, because I have a feeling you're going to go back and you're going to go and watch 2 and 3. Remember the marsh. Goes to the marsh, finds a grave, says Ben. There we go. We got our Ben in there. He finally gets the key to the shed, and he opens it, and he sees a bunch of stuff.
Weird and unsettling.
He talks about money because that's what he's here. Keep in mind, he's flipping this house, so he's trying to make money. He finds a garbage bag. Well, he sees the shovel, and he's like, well, that's not a good sign when you find a grave in the backyard.
It's and then there's just a work shed. You could have a shovel in there.
And there's 1,000 other things. He doesn't mention the fucking child mannequin that's up there.
I didn't see that.
There's a full child mannequin just sitting up on a shelf. He doesn't mention that. Yeah. I see
the Incredible Hulk action figure in the basement at
the
end.
Hard to miss. It's awesome. But he notices this garbage bag, and he pulls out this box and puts it down, pulls out a picture of a baby, puts it down, pulls out a white towel that has a little bit of blood, and he goes, what the fuck is this? Pulls out another towel that's got more blood, and then a baby blanket that is just soaked in blood. And he's like, I should probably not touch this. This seems like it's evidence, right? And then he opens the box.
Call someone, fucker.
Yeah. He opens the box and he goes, well, that explains why there's no knives in the house. He just fucks off and goes back to the house.
It's a little treasure chest, like full of clean looking knives.
Yeah.
And he just like, all right, cool. Closes it and brings it back into the house. Dude, if you've already seen the fact that shit's moving in the house and you don't know what's doing it.
It's not even that. It's the fact that there's blood-soaked shit in the shed of the house that you just bought. You just said it's probably evidence, and you're like, "Ooh, knives!" And then you went back into the house.
I mean, let's be honest. He did burn the bridge with the cops. So when he called back and called him a fucking whore. So
I mean, it's just
this guy's calling again. No,
it's just ridiculous. So he gets attacked in his bed. Like, legitimately, by a ghost. We don't see anything other than him being fake beaten up, which is decent, I guess.
Yeah. There's like a weird fisheye swirly thing. It quickly moves across the screen from like the door opens up. Even earlier when the door opens up, he sits up and goes, I know you're there.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah.
All right, back to bed. But, like, the warbly thing just zooms across, and then it's on him, and he starts flopping around. I was like, oh, there's the stunts that the trivia was telling me all about.
Yeah. So he's all bloodied up, cleaning himself. I love the fact that he got his ass kicked, and he had enough time, by a ghost, nonetheless.
Yeah.
He had enough time to set up his iPhone with the tripod in the bathroom to film himself. He's like, I gotta film myself cleaning myself after I just had my ass handed to me by a ghost.
I don't know why I feel the need to film my entire life.
Right. And in that moment, the bathroom door opens, the light turns on, all of that stuff. And
I like to think he's just so fed up with it. He goes, yes, I know you did this, but I'm still pissed off at you.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off, dude.
There's a chair in the bedroom that he's chosen to sleep in. And when he walks out of the bathroom, it's rocking, which we see multiple times, and he never either acknowledges it or notices it, which I think is kind of dope, but also like shows how much of a moron he is.
Shit again.
Yeah. So he gets dressed. He gathers all of the voodoo stuff that he's, for some reason, the satanic voodoo witchcraft collaboration, all of the evil things, and goes out to Ben's grave, which, by the way, he went back out there and it was dug up.
Yep.
So he goes out there and decides to bury all of it in Ben's grave. And not all of it. He decides to take his time and hand select a few things from the bag.
To fucking pour the bag out, dude. You ain't got time for this shit.
And he doesn't even put everything in there. The urn never makes its way in there. Only 2 of the voodoo dolls make it in there. There was 4 of them. It's just, it's so weird. Like, he doesn't put everything in there for whatever reason. And then he kicks dirt into it and sort of buries it. He puts the cross and the stone back on top of it, and he swears at it and goes.
I like how he's yelling in the middle of the night, like, "This is my fucking house!" And it's like his neighbors are like, "Okay,
we got it,
cool, bud." Got a call, and the next day it's like, "Hey man, are you all right? I heard screaming at the house."
Oh
like,
yeah, I'm just shooting my own film. I'm shooting my own independent movie.
So you're that kind of neighbor. Got it.
That explains why you're running around in your underwear covered in a sheet in the middle of the night.
Woo!
Boogity, boogity, boogity. You're like, what the fuck? He's lost it again. But
what was this? Not Thomas Riley. That's his character's name. What was his name again? something. Oh fuck.
Nigel.
Yeah. Nigel's at it again. Especially what a name.
Name is Nigel.
Yeah. Smashing Liza.
Perfect.
Dude, I've watched so much Wild Thornberrys, and my sister did when she was very, very young, those things at the mall where it's like, come act out a scene and you could be, on this and next child star.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wound up doing one of those, but she did the opening monologue to the Wild Thornberrys. And the months we heard her practice this shit. And you know what never happened? Anything callback-wise. Because it's all a fucking scam.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. But... smashing.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh. We're doing great. I thoroughly enjoyed, again, the dialogue being completely improv. Eventually, when he goes back in and he goes upstairs, it's a really cool effect when he goes back to the attic before the lights turn off and it slams him up there and he's like, stop it. It's my house. Fuck off. And there's ashes on the ground. And then writing starts appearing in it saying, not your home. Fuck off.
So this is a moment that I said I was going to, when it came back up, I was going to mention it. So it happens. You can tell it looks cool on your first watch. You're like, wow, this is really dope for an independent thing. If you rewatch it to when he says, no, this is my home. And he like smudges out the words on the ash for a second there. When he puts his hand in front, you can see the words on top of his hand.
I believe it. I entirely believe it.
It's just so bad. He even like edited in like a poof and stuff like that. But when you rewatch it, you notice it immediately. You're just like, this is so bad. It's not good editing.
I mean, for the first part of it, like, yes, he's keeping his hands away from the ash. So it's literally just a very specific frame that is superimposed on top of it. But it's like, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like watching it at first, you're like, oh, fuck. Cool.
Yeah. For somebody who did this on a home computer using literal cell phone footage. I mean, there are some of the edits he didn't even do because this was the time when I had a moment where I was like, maybe I should switch to Apple. I did not get an iPhone, but there was a majority of the editing that was done on the phone.
At the end of this entire movie, made with iMovie.
Literally, it was the beginning of the time when this was
shot on an iPhone.
Their editing software was like they were really pushing for that to be like, this is the future of film, which is funny because I don't think they expected this to be what came out of it.
When we have this in mind,
we have had movies that have hit theaters that have made millions of dollars that have been shot on phones. iPhones. So it's possible. It's been done. It blows my mind, but it's been done. So I got off track.
I don't even know where we are anymore. We're touching upon everything here. The stop that I was talking about, like he brings the music box down and he's sitting in his living room, and it's very obviously like a freeze frame while nothing's going on, and he's dubbing his voice over, and then he's just playing it, and he's playing the whole song. So it's playing when it answers his questions. And it's like, are you a cat? Are you a dog? Are you a family pet? Are you a child? Ding, 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 ding. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, fuck, what was it? I think it's, are you, like, were you hurt? And then it slams and the whole thing jumps up. That got me where it was like, oh, cool, man. And then he watches shit move in the living room, and he watches a chair slide towards the basement, and he slides it back, and it slides back, and he's like, stop. Slides it back, and it fucking doesn't move again.
Yeah.
Ghost is like, all right, yes, sir. Sorry about that.
It like cuts him off. It cuts his path off because he's trying to go towards the basement. And that's where everything keeps getting pulled. All the furniture in the living room keeps getting pulled towards the basement door. So all of this has happened, and he has had it. He's completely fucking had it, and enough is enough to him. And he goes down to the basement, and he is wielding an axe, and he says, I've axed you one too many times to leave this house.
Fuck off. You're a dick.
I just love the fact that he hits the door 3 times and then the door just opens.
True.
I wanted so much more.
True. This is after he goes back outside and grabs the religious shit, and he's like, I guess trash day is tomorrow. That feels like a very, like a moment.
Garbage day.
And it's just, yeah! And he brings all that shit back in.
And then goes out to eat.
Yeah, after he basically exercises the house with a camera saying, or a candle going, it's my house. You're not welcome here. There's peace for you on the beyond. And then he opens the back door and he goes, all right, get out. And it closes.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, simple as that. Let's go out to eat. Comes back. Crucifix is on the ground, which is shown by like the head or like a motion light clicking on. And then he comes in. We don't see it at first. And it's like, oh, I mean, the crucifix is on the ground. What's he staring at? The voodoo doll's stabbed into the wall by one of the knives from the chest, which I was like, oh,
yeah, it's
cool.
2 of them too. It's the baby voodoo doll and then one of the adult ones. Whether it's a father or mother, I don't know. But yeah, it is stabbed in its place, which is brutal. Just imagine also, I want you to just keep in mind, this dude is done this in his own house. And he's just like, dude, fuck this wall in particular.
Dude, yeah. Just put a crucifix back over it. It's fine. No one will ever notice it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. But he goes to the basement, yeah.
Yeah, so he goes to the basement, he axes the door open, and this is when...
Incredible Hulk.
Yep, there's an Incredible Hulk on a shelf, and a chain hanging from the ceiling, and a child's rocking chair that is rocking in the background.
Oh, I didn't even see it rocking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was just focusing on, like, because he's like, all right, this is the infamous basement camera that's not working because it's not fucking plugged in.
Yeah.
So he plugs it back in, and it has to, like, update and initialize. And I was like, oh, so cool. We're not going to see it because it cuts away.
Yeah.
I didn't see the rocking chair. That's sick.
That makes me being the person who over pays attention to things, it makes it better for me now because, like, maybe us mentioning the chair rocking in his room, maybe nobody noticed that. Maybe there's somebody out there who didn't notice those things. Like, you didn't notice this chair. That it makes it a lot easier.
Once.
Okay, so it happens multiple times. So that makes it
notice it.
So him not noticing the chairs moving makes a little bit more sense to me now, because as viewers, if viewers themselves aren't noticing these things, it would almost, to me, it would make sense that with so much chaos in the house, that the person living there is so hyper focused on, they would miss things that to me seem huge, but to them may not even matter. So every time those chairs are moving, he doesn't even notice. He doesn't notice the child's wooden rocking chair moving when he goes to this creepy ass basement at all. So there's a chair positioned towards, like a big armchair positioned towards this chain. There's a tarp hanging from the ceiling. There's a camo tarp on the ground. And he's like, well, this isn't good. He pulls it back.
Hacking up some sounds too.
Yeah. And there's nothing under there other than a mattress. And then he then finally notices the chain. And pulls on it. And we get the cheapest noise
I was wondering how he was going to end this movie. I was like, wow, he's got like 5 minutes left and still going. What's happening here?
And it's just this.
I mean, it was pretty jarring at first because it comes out at him and it's like all of a sudden he's up the stairs getting dragged back down the stairs and he spins around and goes face first down and then he's getting dragged by the chain
with the axe on his chest.
Yeah, was that supposed to be embedded in his chest? I don't know.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, he's being dragged towards the wall where the chain ended, I guess.
Bad Ben apparently is.
Yeah. So that was the big thing we skipped over when he brought the religious stuff back in and opens the Bible. There's a drawing in there. He says it's a children's drawing. It's a really good drawing for a child, but
quite clean in paper. So it seems very, very recent.
Right. So it's a drawing of the house. Very well done with the driveway and the wall and everything going up the walkway. It's all there. Mm-hmm. And then mom and dad, and in between they're holding hands with good Ben. And then there's a drawing of the basement and this monster thing, and it just says bad Ben. And he's like, so there's good Ben and bad Ben. I guess bad Ben's in the basement. And he still goes to the basement.
And when the security camera, Jesus Christ, I forgot that word, when it finally kicks back on, and that's when we see him being dragged across the floor and just dragged away. And then lo and behold, that, ladies, gents, and our non-binary friends, is 2016's Bad Ben.
Bad Ben.
Dude.
100% independent film.
Hell yeah. Way to go, Nigel.
I had to make a point to add an absolutely independent film, not like a Nora won 4 Academy Awards or whatever because it was a truly independent film only made on a multi-million-dollar budget. That's not an independent film. That is a film with a multi-million-dollar budget. This is an independent film. This was paid out of pocket.
Grab your phone or camera and walk out into your backyard and film something. Damn
he literally utilized anything and everything that he currently had or he could pick up at a Goodwill. I don't even know if any of that religious stuff was his own, but it'd be hilarious if he threw at his own cross. But this is what independent film is. This is what an independent film is. Not any of these A24 films, as great as some of these are, most of them are. Mm-hmm. It's not an indie film. An indie film is, I have a fucking phone in my pocket. I have an idea. I'm going to go shoot this. And I'm going to release it. That's an indie film. And seeing as we are literally sponsored by an indie horror clothing company who is run by an indie horror author, it only made sense to me to add a truly independent indie horror film into this list. Yes, I love it, but I really thought you were going to hate it, and that's why I added it. I have to admit, I'm actually really happy that you like it. Like, it makes me really happy that you like this.
Really, really worries me for what we're about to get next. Like, we got 2 shit fiestas, and then we got a really good one.
Yeah.
I'm so scared because I've got some stuff I don't even fucking want to watch on my list.
Oh, me too.
I want to go the rest of my life without seeing some of the movies on here, but I am so terrified.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, Rob, what, who, when, where, why is our bloody legend of the week for Bad Ben?
Oh, without a doubt, our bloody legend is Nigel Bach. This
Nigel
dude is a legend, in my opinion.
Hell yeah.
Again, I cannot say anything after 5. I can tell you that the 5th Bad Ben movie sucked. And I'm sure the next 10 were no good. But 1 through 3 are awesome films. I really appreciate these movies. I love it.
Ironically, watching Bad Ben.
It's Nigel, like without a shadow of a doubt. Nigel, kudos, man. You made at least one amazing indie film that I love the movie, man. It's so good, and it's been a rewatch of mine for years since it came out. So,
dude, yeah, again, Outback and Frankenstein's Island, I never want to watch again.
No, me neither.
I honestly will look forward to watching this movie again and possibly venturing down the rabbit hole of how are the rest of them.
Yeah, I feel like we should start a blog or something and like actually work our way through all of the movies. But also, I've made a point to not go down that rabbit hole because I don't want to hate Nigel. Be like, why didn't you just give up after 3?
Nigel, you bloody legend. After Bad Ben 5, Nigel, fuck you, you goddamn motherfucking whore.
Just call him a whore. You fucking whore.
Oh my god. I feel like you'd at least get a chuckle out of that. We got to try and find a way to contact Nigel here.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, whatever evil was conjured in the house, would you give this movie?
Dude, honestly, at the beginning, like, again, the typing thing, and I was sitting there going, oh my god, it's a fucking run-on sentence, like when Sheila Frankenstein was just like, yes, it's the good stuff. Who are you? Yes, all right, I am Sheila Frankenstein. I actually go by my unmarried name. It's like, cool, dude, take a breather. Yeah. Fucking stop. We don't need this. So, at first with that, and yes, it was independent. Yes, the dialogue was completely improvised the entire time. I wonder how many of those shots were oneers, and he's like, fuck it, it's gold, keep it in. I am so happy because I'm going to give it a 7.
Nice.
Yeah. Like, yes, it's not a perfect 10. Yes, there's some stuff where I'll watch it back and go, okay. But it's so good.
Yeah.
For an independent, apparently horrible shit film, like this is so nice and refreshing to have so far in season 3, the season of suffering. What worries me is we should have had this later, after some of the other movies we're probably going to watch.
Here's the good thing. This is, imagine going 5 episodes deep on a podcast that you've already been listening to and kind of like dedicated a couple years listening to, and you just get 5 episodes of like, why the fuck am I still listening to them bitch about bad movies?
You know, that's fair. That's very fair. All right. Hey, if you're still listening, thank you. Yeah. And I hope you enjoy Bad Ben.
Seriously.
Selena, again, you're suffering along with us. I'm interested to know your thoughts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're gonna start doing like a Selena's thought of the week thing.
Hell yeah.
Or Selena's input.
Which, I mean, it's even better because Selena agreed with me and made the right decision on our poll a few weeks back about yeah.
Yeah, well.
But we're not here to talk about the Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. Again, it's our other running joke. It's a shit movie and deserves to be left in the dungeon.
I will give it a 9. So just to give my rating, I give it a 9.
I was about to start that.
The only reason it's losing a point is the ending. The ending happens so quickly. The noise kills it for me. It's so ridiculous. Yeah. That was almost exactly it. That was perfect.
No, smashing.
But I don't. It's like, I mean, I get that it's independent and he had an idea and how the fuck do I end this thing? Luckily, 2 and 3 answer some more details, which I think is great. And it's worth it, in my opinion, especially 2. It's great. But yeah, so it gets 9 from me. Now, for the major question of Season of Suffering, does Bad Ben remain in the dungeon to suffer, or do we set it free?
I mean, you were expecting me to say, let the fucking thing suffer. Dude.
Yeah.
This is a good Ben. This is good Ben. Let this little lad out.
Good.
Deserves to be set free.
100% in agreement. Bad Ben, you are released from the dungeon.
Bad Ben, you are now good Ben.
Yes.
Off into the world.
Best Ben.
I'm just imagining like the creature that was drawn in the cartoon is like some pissed off looking dog, and now it's like, you're the best Ben, and we just see wagging of a fucking tail.
Pat it on the head and give it a biscuit and send it on its way.
Good Ben. Now, the moment we've unfortunately all been waiting for. We go with this tremendous movie. It's time. Rob is holding my wonderful space dice in his hand. It's time to find out what will be next week's episode in Season 3, The Season of Suffering. Again, so far, a quick recap. and I will be keeping track of this as well as what goes in the dungeon and what comes out of the dungeon. And so far, we have Outback from 2019. It is still in the dungeon and will never see the light of day again. My first movie that came up was Frankenstein's Island from 1981. Still also stuck in the dungeon. Better than Outback, with the
Not
rest.
by much.
And then out of the dungeon, I almost wrote best. I'm fucking writing Best Ben.
Best Ben! Yay!
Best Ben has made it out of the dungeon. So now I have in front of me the shit list. Rob, what is going to be next week's episode from my list?
You have rolled a 19.
So number 19 is Lethal Virus from 2021. It is on Prime. It is on Tubi. It has a 1.8 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, dear Lord.
I think what also might have something to do with it, and I completely forgot about the state of the world when 2021 happened, and when it says Lethal Virus.
Yeah. Well,
Raggy.
All right. Here's the best thing is I haven't watched the trailer and I'm not going to. I'm just going to dive into it.
Mm-hmm. All we know is that this is going to be such a what the fuck of a movie again. But that is next week. Lethal Virus. It's on Prime 2021. It's on Tubi. Dear sweet baby Jesus.
Oh, God. I don't think he's here.
He left us the moment this idea crept up about this season. But that is next week. Again, thank you very much for listening, ladies, gents, and our non-binary friends. Rob, thank you very much for showing me a gem that I did not know I needed to see.
Absolutely.
Holy shit. This was a tremendous movie.
I'm glad you liked it.
Until next week. Oh, God.
Sleep tight, suckers.
Fucking whore. God damn it.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Spoiler Sleepover, but the fun won't stop there. Go follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, and if you have any episode ideas, please send them our way at spoilersleepover@gmail.com. That'd be really fantastic of you. So, until next week, sleep tight, suckers!
Spoiler Sleepover is sponsored by Gore Clown Shop.
Do you love all things horror? Books? Movies? Podcasts? Of course you do. Well, come on down to goreclown.com.
Original artwork by an indie horror fan for indie horror fans.
Use code SLEEPOVER at checkout to save 15% on your whole purchase.
Oh, and did we mention? Gore Clown is the only place to get official Spoiler Sleepover merch.
So don't forget to use Sleepover to save 15%.
Stay indie, suckers.